Well, good Sunday evening to everybody, and welcome to the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Game of the Week. This is the first game this season that I have flexed the schedule, and we're not going to do the original Sunday Night Game of the Week. We're going to do a modified game, which was also played on the same date, August 22nd, Sunday afternoon, but we're going to play it Sunday night in a flex setup to realign more with what the pennant race is showing. So instead of the Cubs and the Braves, we get the Phillies and the Astros. And that's important as we look at the standings done by the Stratomatic PC. We see that Houston, surprisingly, is leading San Francisco by 2 games and Atlanta by 8.5. Philadelphia's run away with the East. They're way ahead of Montreal. But Houston definitely trying to hang on against San Francisco. So for National League games, you're going to be seeing a lot of these 3 teams right here. Houston, San Francisco, and Atlanta are going to be showing up a lot. In fact, Philadelphia and Houston are going to be playing September 12th. That'll be another game. That'll be on the Game of the Week, Sunday Night Game of the Week. And, of course, American League games will also be thrown in there as well. So if you look at the American League standings, Toronto's pretty much won the East. They ran away from Baltimore and everybody else. But in the West, you have a really tight race. Seattle's even in it at 6.5 back. I wouldn't say California's in it because they're 8.5 back, but I mean, they could go on a run. But Texas is 5.5. Kansas City's only 1 game behind Chicago. So could be next week. We're going to keep the original schedule because it will be Chicago and Minnesota. So even though Minnesota's out of it, Chicago is firmly in it. So the original Sunday night game for August 29th was Chicago and Minnesota. So we're going to keep with that. We'll do that game, and then starting in the month of September. In fact, I'll actually show what I have planned. Now, there's one Sunday I don't have anything planned for yet. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll have to wait on the playoffs. But tentatively, this is the schedule. August 29th, the Twins at the White Sox. September 5th, the Giants and the Cardinals. September 12th, the Astros and Phillies again, this time in Philadelphia. The 19th, I don't know. That's an open date. That can be anything. The 26th is going to be Braves and the Phillies, and the 3rd is going to be the Giants and the Dodgers. I mean, subject to change, but that's kind of my plan. But then again, it all depends on pennant races and whatnot. So next week, you will see the Twins and White Sox as scheduled because the White Sox are trying to hold on to the division lead. All right, so for this one, it's Houston and Philadelphia from the Dome. It's Darryl Kyle against Ben Rivera, the pitching matchup for that. When I was printing off my little base running things, for some reason, I forgot to print off the Astros. So I'm using the newer Astro base runners. So I know it's not the same, but really doesn't matter. It's there for informational purposes, not for aesthetics. So that just to give you aware of that. There's your starting lineup for both teams, benches, and the bullpens. All right, so again, going back to the East and NL standings, Houston has a 2-game lead on the Giants, which is why it's critical. Philadelphia's just playing it out. I mean, I don't think there's any way they're going to lose that 11.5 game lead to Montreal. It's 12 in the loss column. So, but San Fran and the way Atlanta's been playing lately with the addition of McGriff, they could go on a run as well. So anything can happen in that NL West, and that's what we're trying to keep abreast of. And so the games, you might start seeing a lot of the same teams over and over, but I'm trying to keep it in line with the pennant races. So with that in mind, we got our dice here. Trifolds in the back. I got my rare playbook, my action chart, bunt chart. So I think everything's pretty much in place. So Darryl Kyle will finish his warm-up tosses, and he'll be facing Nails, Lenny Dykstra. And this is the rare game where I can actually put the batter where he belongs and the pitcher where he belongs because you reference the batter card first. It's the only game I know of that you really do that, other than like Apper or something, which the pitching is abstract anyway. But the games like payoff pitch, inside pitch, and strat, you know, a lot of times strat depends on how you roll it, but the ones that check both sides, you usually start with the pitcher, but this is the one game where you start with the batter. All right, so Lenny Dykstra against Darryl Kyle. 2-6, and we're immediately in the ballpark area. That's a 4. That's going to be hard to get, but we're going to the Astrodome, and that could take that number down a notch. The number 2 in blue tells us that we're looking at the left fielder for the Astros, and that's Gonzalez. So Luis Gonzalez, the left fielder for the Astros. If we look at his range and see what he's got, actually his range is a 5, the best you can have. So right now he'd catch this ball. The only way he won't catch this ball is if his changes to a 5. And there's no provision for that to happen. The best he could do is change to 4, keep it at a 4. So really he's going to make the catch, but I'll roll it anyway just for the heck of it. Roll the 1 die and see what we get. We get a 5, so that means it drops it to a 3, but the 5 from Gonzalez easily takes care of that. And Dykstra flies to left for the first out. So I really didn't have to roll that, but I just did it just for kicks and giggles. And that'll bring up second baseman Mickey Morandini against Mr. Kyle. Triple ones. That's a 1-2. 1-1 is a 2. 1-1 is a 1. Total of 3, and that's a strikeout. So Mickey Morandini out on strikes. 2 quick outs, and for some reason John Kruk is on the bench in this game. I'm not sure why. But again, it was a day game after a night game, so that's why you got the backup catcher and stuff like that. So, but that's what happens when you flex games. Jordan, 4-6 is an 11. That's a possible error. The 3 is the third baseman, Chris Donalds. And Chris Donalds, if we look at his error rating at third base, he's an 11. That's the worst you can have, which means this error is guaranteed unless we roll an 11. That's the only way to stop it. Anything other than 11, he's going to make the error. And he does. So but the blue die is only a 1, not a 6, so it will be just a 1 base error on Chris Donalds. So Ricky Jordan reaches on the E5. Keeps the inning going. And it's going to bring up third baseman Dave Holland, switch hitter. 2-1 is a 40. 2-6 is a 2. 42 is a ground ball to short. And that's going to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first here at the Astrodome. It is the Phillies nothing, and the Astros coming to bat. And Ben Rivera, not the best of Phillies starting pitchers, but he gets the assignment in this game. And he'll be facing Craig Biggio to lead things off for the Stros. Craig Biggio. 3-2 is a 2. 3-6 is a 5. That's a total of 7. And 7 in column 3 is a single. So the fact that he got that 5 there, he gets a lot of hits, which is why they've got these high numbers here. Normally, if you roll a 2 in column 3, you're doomed. But when you add to a 5, it becomes a 7. And anything above 6 is going to, between that 7 and 10 range, is going to be a base hit. So Biggio took advantage. And again, I've got to use the base runners where the logos are not the same, but they say Houston, so we'll just live with it. By the time they play again on September 12th, I will have legitimate logos. All right, here's Finley. 6-3 is a 31. 6-3 is a 2. Total of 33, and that is a pop to second for out number 1. So Finley is retired, and here comes Jeff Bagwell. 2 Hall of Famers in this lineup for the Stros, plus Luis Gonzalez is a kind of a borderline Hall of Famer probably. 3-1 is a 4, so we're going in that shaded area once again. The 3-1 here is a 2, so we keep that number 2 for Rivera, add it to whatever comes up here. In column number 3, again, you need a 7 or better to get a base hit. Right now it's a 6 with these 2. So this has to change to a 5 or higher. Well, it can't get higher, but it has to change to a 5 to be a base hit. And the only way in column 3 it changes to a 5 is if you roll a 6. So if you roll a 6, it's going to be a base hit. Anything else, it will be an out. It's a 5, so it's going to stay a 4. That number will not change because the 5 corresponds to the 4. So we got a total of 4 plus the 2 is a 6. And that's a short fly to center field for out number 2. So 2 down as Bagwell is out of there. And here comes Eric Anthony. He had a few good power years. 2-1 is a 39. That 5 up top talks about injuries, I do believe. So we're not worried about injuries in this one. 39 and a 5, 39 rather, and a 2-2 is a 1. That's a total of 40. And a 40 is going to be a ground ball to short to end the inning. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left for the Astros. And 1 complete in the books. It's Philadelphia nothing and Houston nothing from the Dome. on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. On Tuesday, I will upload the Yankees and Orioles game. It's already been played and recorded. So I will update that payoff pitch 2022 back to the Yankees. Game number 35 against the Orioles from Camden Yards. And pitching matchup, Luis Severino against Kyle Bradish. Oops. Got to remember to put the batter first here. But that's Tuesday. Some point. I don't know if we'll do it at lunch or do it in the evening. I'm not sure. One or the other. All right, here's Milt Thompson to lead off for the Phillies. 2-4 is a 2. 2-2 is a 1. Total of 3, and that's another strikeout. So Darryl Kyle gets the K on Thompson. That brings up Wes Chamberlain. Not sure why he's in there against Eisenreich, because he does much better against lefties. So kind of weird that they would do that. But I guess, again, maybe the day game after a night game, but even though I'm playing it at night because I'm flexing it. But the lineup is probably because of all that. 4-6 is a 16. 4-6 here is the second baseman Biggio. And Craig Biggio, defensive rating is a 3. So the 16 and the 3 is a 19. And with the infield back, a 19 is a ground out. So it's going to be a ground out to Biggio. Had he been halfway, that probably would have gotten through for a hit. But when he's at this full depth, he was able to get to it. And there's 2 down for Todd Pratt, the backup catcher. Again, because it was originally played as a day game after a night game, I'm sure that's why they set Darren Dalton. But since I'm flexing it to the night game, we're still going to keep the same lineup. So Pratt, 1-6 is a 45. That's a strikeout. And that's going to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down go the Phillies here in the top of the second. Go to the bottom of the second. No score from the Dome. So I know I'm taking a little bit of liberty, but it is the original lineup. It's just I picked a different game, and when you move a day game to a night game on a Sunday, you can get obscure lineups at times because managers are resting guys. But Houston's pretty much got their regular lineup, though. So 1-3 for Gonzalez is a 1. 1-2 is a 2. Total of 3, which is a strikeout. And it's not like the games in Philadelphia where you worry about the August heat. You're in the Dome, so they're not resting because of the heat. All right, that brings up Eddie Taubensee, catcher. 2-1 is a 31. 2-5 is a 3. Total of 34, and that's going to be a ground out back to Mr. Rivera for out number 2. The little W's on Rivera's column 2 only come into play if the total result is 12-16. So when you're down in the 30s and 40s, is no effect. All right, here's Chris Donalds. He made an error. The only thing he's done so far in the game is make an error. 5-4 is a 1. 5-5 is a 5. Total of 6, and that's going to be a walk. So, again, Rivera gives up a lot of hits, and he walks a lot of guys. He's got 5s all along his column here, so he's going to walk everybody he gets a chance to. So a 2-out walk to Chris Donalds, and that'll bring up Andujar Cedeno, the shortstop. Darryl Kyle on deck. 1-4 is a 1. 1-1 is a 2. That's a total of 6, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. There were already 2 outs. I just didn't move it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the third. No score here at the Astrodome. Okay, thank goodness for recording. I could hit the pause button so that it did not cough in your ear. So now I'm better. And here's Kevin Stocker to lead off against Mr. Kyle. 1-3 is a 2. 1-1 is a 1. Total of 3, which is another strikeout for Darryl Kyle. And Kyle now has 4 strikeouts. And then I'll bring up the pitcher, Ben Rivera. And I have the PDF version of his actual hitting card. I prefer to use that rather than the generic hitting card when I can. 4-5 is a 6, and 4-6 is a second baseman, Biggio, who's a 3. Total of 9, and that's just a routine ground ball to Biggio for out number 2. Flip the order over to Dykstra. He flew to left his first chance. 1-1 is a 20. 1-5 is a 2. Total of 22. That's going to be a base hit with a possible error. The blue die says it's going to right field, so we're checking the error rating of the right fielder. In this case, that is Eric Anthony. Anthony's error rating in right field is a 55. So we go over here and it says roll against the error rating of the fielder. All right, so it's got to be a 56 or higher in order for it to be an error. It is not. It's 43, so will be no error, but it just will be a base hit for Dykstra. It's a 2-out single for Dykstra. And since I'm doing automated steals, that did not come up as a steal chance, so there will be no steal attempt. That'll bring up Mickey Morandini, and now Tabby's jumped up on her perch, so hopefully she'll stay put. We'll see. You might actually hear her in the background and once in a while make noise, but hopefully she stays on her perch. And I'll pet her to try to keep her at bay in between dice rolls. So here's Morandini. 2-3 is a 1, 2-3 is a 2. That's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Darryl Kyle in 3 innings. And he's kind of pretty much shut down the Phillies. Dykstra's hit was the first hit by the Phillies. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. And now Tabby is trying to get up on the table, and I'm going to try to not encourage that. Darryl Kyle is going to lead off. He's got his own hitting card again, PDF style. 3-5 is a 3. 3-3 is a 3. Total of 6, and that's going to be a short fly to center field. 1 away. I think if I pet Tabby in between dice rolls, that will keep her to where she feels like she's engaged and not trying to get my attention. Most of it's an attention thing, I'm sure. Just trying to get my attention. So if I roll dice with one hand and pet her with the other hand, maybe that'll keep her on the perch and not in the field of play. 3-5 is a 12. 3-6 is a 5. Total of 17. 17 in column 3 is a double to the center field gap. So a double for Craig Biggio. A double for Biggio. And again, he had to have a 2 or a 3 to prevent this from a hit, because anything 16 or higher is going to be a hit. He needed that to be a 3 or less to make that a 15 or less, but didn't happen. So Biggio with the double. 1-out double for Biggio. And that will bring up center fielder Steve Finley. First real threat against the Phillies. 3-1 is a 4. We're in the shaded area. 3-4 is a 4. So we're going to add 4 to whatever we get here. And as we've seen before, this has to be a total number of 7 or higher to be a hit. Right now it's an 8. The only way this is not a hit is if this changes to a 1 or a 2. And the only way that happens is if you roll a 1, 2, or a 3. So if you roll one die, if it's a 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be an out. 4, 5, or 6, it's going to be a hit. It's a 1, so this number is going to change to a 1. And the 1 and the 3 are going to be a 4. And that's a short fly to right field for out number 2. So with the short fly to right, runner cannot move up. There's 2 down. That was an important roll there to save the Phillies a run. Base hit would have most likely been an automatic run. But not out of the woods yet, because you got Jeff Bagwell. 3-1, and we're back in the same thing. Shaded area, a 2 means we got a 3. So again, this has to be a 3 or less. So again, the same situation just brings itself up again. 1, 2, or 3, it's an out. 4, 5, or 6, it's a hit. It's a 2. So again, the Phillies got lucky. It's going to be a 5, which is a short fly to left to end the inning. So they got 2 really good dice rolls there. So the 1-out double does not come to fruition. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. 3 in the books at the Dome. And we are scoreless if I can get this thing to right. Okay. We are scoreless from the Dome. So Ben Rivera got a break there. And now we start the top of the 4th with Ricky Jordan. Darryl Kyle is the batter. Trying to make sure Tabby does not get up there, but she is getting. She does want some extra attention. So if I pause a little bit, it's because I'm taking care of her to keep her off the table. All right, so Kyle facing Ricky Jordan, who reached on an error by Donalds his first time up. 3-1 is a 13. 3-3 is a 1. Total of 14, and that's going to be a line out to third. So this time Donalds puts him away to make up for giving him a free base in his first at bat via the error. So redeems himself by snagging that liner. One away. Here's Hollins. 4-2 is an 18. This could be an infield hit possibly. 4-2 is an 18. 4-4 is the shortstop. That's Cedeno. And we'll look at Cedeno's error rating or range rating. His range is a 3. So we add 3 to the 18. We get a 21. And a 21 with the infield back is a single off the glove, but it's going to the first base umpire chart. So we need to go to the first base umpire chart to resolve. And the first base umpire chart is right here. And the result was a 21, so that means 1 and 6 are out. Anything else will be safe. He's safe, so he beat it out. Beat out the play. So an infield hit for Hollins. As Cedeno was not able to corral it and throw it in time. So infield hit for Mr. Hollins. 1 out, runner on first, and Milt Thompson, the batter. Five-1 is a 4. 5-2 is a 4. Total of 8, and that's a walk. So that'll put 2 on with 1 out. And now Kyle in his first trouble of the game, with Wes Chamberlain coming up. Two is a 16. 2-4 is a 2. Total of 18 in column 2. 18 in column 2 is a fly out to center field for out number 2. So a big out to get there. 2 down, and he's normally you'd have to face Dutch Dalton, but Todd Pratt is the catcher in this game, so much less formidable. 5-3 is a 4. 5-3 is a 4 again. Total of 8. And it says with bases loaded counts 2 balls, but it's not bases loaded. Not yet, but it is now. So the walk will load the bases for Kevin Stocker. And the Phillies now have a chance to get on the scoreboard, break that scoreless tie. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Kevin Stocker. 6-2, and that's a split chance. Against a right-hander, though, it's going to be a 16. Against a left-hander, that would have been a hit. Against a right-hander, that's a 16. So that's going to end up being a fly ball out when you add the 2-5. The 6-5, that comes a 3, so a total of 19, and that's just a deep fly out to right field to end the inning. So Kyle pitches around the mess. No runs, a hit, no errors, and bases left loaded due to 2 walks. So Phillies have now left 5 on base in 4 innings. So that could certainly come into play later on. Astros have left 3 on base in 3 innings, so both are guilty of the old LOBs. So bottom of the 4th, and Eric Anthony is your leadoff hitter for the Astros. It'll be Anthony, Gonzalez, and Taubensee. 6-4 is a 58. This could be extra bases. 6-4 is a 58. 6-3 is a 2. Total of 60 in column 6. That's a single, actually, to left field. So it's going to be a single, not a double, just a single. So leadoff single for Eric Anthony. He's aboard, and Luis Gonzalez steps to the plate. Against Rivera, 1-5 is a 3. 1-5 is a 2. Total of 5. That's a strikeout. 1 down for Eddie Taubensee. 3-3, and we're in the shaded area once again. That's a 5. 3-2 is a 3. So we're going to add 3 to whatever this is. And again, if it's a 7 or higher, it's a base hit. So right now, this has to, for it not to be a hit, this has to drop to a 3. And the way that happens, again, much like we've seen earlier, we have to roll with actually a 1 to 4 would be an out. 5 or 6 is going to be a hit. So 1 to 4 is an out. 5 to 6 is a hit. That's a 2. It's going to be an out. So that's going to change that to a number 2. 2 and a 3 is a 5, which is a short fly to left for out number 2. So pitchers have been saved on both sides by those rolls in column 3, ballpark, the Astrodome, is taking away a lot of hits. Taking away a lot of potential hits, I should say. All right, here's Chris Donalds, where if we'd been in the vet, those might have been hits. Donalds, 2-3 is a 4, 2-3 is a 2, total 6. That's a strikeout. And the inning is over. So the leadoff single does not come to any fruition, and the Astros left 4 runners on base in 4 innings, and the Phillies left 5 on base in 4 innings. So the old LOB is rearing its head. And we go to the 5th. No score from the Dome. And Ben Rivera, the pitcher, will lead off for the Phillies. He grounded to Biggio. First time up. 4-4, and that's a 6. We had the same roll, I think, last time. 4-4 is a 6. 4-4 this time is a shortstop, Cedeno. He's a 3, total of 9. Just a ground ball to short. So Cedeno makes the play. 1 down, the lineup flips over to Dykstra. He singled his last time up. 6-4, he might do more than that. 6-4 is a split chance, and with the 60 here, that's looking for extra bases. Would have been a single here against lefties, but against righties, we're looking at extra bases. 6-4 is a 2, total of 62, and that's going to be a double into the corner. So Lenny Dykstra, instead of a single against a lefty, it's a double against a righty. So Lenny Dykstra, a 1-out double. He's in scoring position. Here's Morandini, but Morandini is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, so he's got to put the bat on the ball. 3-3, he will. Look at that. That's a 70. You don't see that very often, a 70. 3-6 is a 3, total of 73. And that is a triple into the gap. So Mickey Morandini with a triple. Dykstra will score, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. You don't see many on the board. 72-75 is a triple, so you don't see very many guys with 70s, but obviously he hit some triples. So there you go. Phillies break on the scoreboard with that triple. And now the Astros are going to bring the infield in. They don't want to give up a cheap run if they can avoid it. So the infield is in for Ricky Jordan. 2-5 is a 16. 2-1 is a 1, total of 17. And it says, strikeout with bases empty, but bases are not empty, or fly out to center with men on base. Okay, that's what we got, a fly out to center. That's out number 2. But it says with runner on third base and less than 2 outs, roll 1 die. If the die is odd, it's a strikeout. If it's even, it's a sacrifice fly. So this is an even-odd thing for a sacrifice fly versus a strikeout. If it's even, it's 2-0 Phillies. If it's odd, it's a strikeout. It's even, so it's a sacrifice fly for Ricky Jordan. Sacrifice fly for Ricky Jordan to center field. Scoring is Morandini. It's 2-0 Phillies. And Jordan comes through with a clutch RBI. Because of the fact that that was even. If it had been odd, it had been a strikeout, and the inning would have been over. Here's Hollins. 3-4, that's a rare play chance. See if we get an even or an odd. We get an odd, so it is going to be a rare play. So let me get the rare playbook out. With runners on base, bases are empty. So bases are empty. Runners on base, bases empty. And there are 2 outs. And we get a 6. So we go over here. Rare play, bases empty, a 6 and 2 outs. It says grounder toward the hole at short. Shortstop backhands the bounding ball and fires to first, but his throw is in the dirt. Roll 1 die against first baseman's defensive rating. If die is higher, first baseman digs the ball out to retire the batter. Okay, so we're looking at the defensive rating of the first baseman, Bagwell. He's a 1, best you can have. So if this is anything other than a 1, then the play will be made. If it happens to be a 1, then we keep going. Otherwise, it's an out. It's a 3, so Bagwell is able to dig it out and save the error. Save Cedeno an error. So Bagwell, because of his great fielding, helps his teammate and limits the Phillies any more damage. They do score 2 runs. And they do it on 2 hits that double and triple. No errors and nobody left. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Phillies. And Ben Rivera has been given that lead to protect. And the guy that just made the nice play is going to lead off the inning, Andujar Cedeno. for the Astros. And I see that putting that book there did make it a little bit blurry, so let's fix that. All right. I don't like to do that because it does make it blurry, but I do want to show some important results. All right, here's Cedeno to lead it off against Rivera. He struck out his first time up. 2-4 is a 60 with a 3 on it, and that stays static. That does not change because it's not in the shaded area. The 1 means we're looking at the left fielder, and for the Phillies, that is Milt Thompson. Milt Thompson's range is a 4, which means he will make the play. It's greater than the 3. Since the 3 doesn't change, it's a fly to left. So Milt Thompson, because of his good range, takes the hit away from Cedeno. Darryl Kyle steps up. 4-2 is a 16. 4-5 is a shortstop Stocker. So we had 16 to Stocker's defense, and Stocker's defense is a 2, total of 18. 18 is just simply a ground out to short with the infield back. So it's 2 quick outs. And we go to Biggio. So Rivera pitching above his normal season stats, but having a good game in this one. Maybe until now. 1-1 is a 20. That's going to be a base hit with a possible error. The 1 means we're looking at the left fielder Milt Thompson again, but his error rating is a 62. So the only way this is an error if we roll higher than 62. And we do 65, so it will be an error. So it will be an error. So a single plus an error. A very rare error on Milt Thompson, but it's going to be a single by Biggio, and he will take second base on the error. And Biggio is now 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double, doing everything he can to help the Astros. But he's in scoring position with 2 outs. That error could be big because now a base hit gets him right back in the game. Here's Finley. He's 0 for 2. 4-6 is a 2. 4-2 is second baseman Morandini, so he will make the play and the inning's over. No runs a hit, 1 error, and 1 left. The Astros have left one runner on base every inning. We've played 5 from the Dome. Still 2-0 favor of the Phillies. Or if you're a Stratomatic aficionado, the cheesesteaks on the computer. All right, and of course, Milt Thompson made the error, but he's going to try to redeem himself by leading off this inning. He struck out and walked. He's 0 for 1. Top of the 6th, 2-0 Phils. 4-6 is a 2. 4-1 is the first baseman Bagwell. He'll make it the play, taken to the bag himself, 1 away. And of course, the Giants and Braves are both liking this result because that's going to bring the Astros closer to them. If the Phillies hold on, and I loaded into the Strat computer with a Phillies victory, that'll help the contenders. 1-2 is a 1, 1-4 is a 1, total of 2. It's a strikeout. So Chamberlain out on strikes, 2 down for backup catcher Todd Pratt. And of course, the Phillies have a loaded bench now. They have Dalton, Eisenreich, and Kruk all on the bench, along with Incaviglia. So they got a loaded bench. And Duncan's no slouch either. So here's Pratt, 2-6, and we're into the shaded area once again. So it all depends on what the Astrodome tells us. And column 2, let's see, first of all, the blue die is a 4, which means we're looking at the center fielder, Steve Finley. And Finley, his range in center is a 4. So this has to drop to a 3 for him to make the catch. And the way that happens is we don't roll a 6. Anything 1 through 5 is going to stay a 3 or less. The only way it stays a 4 is to roll a 6. So as long as this is not a 6, he'll make the catch. And he does. So Finley takes the hit away from Pratt, and that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Darryl Kyle. He has now pitched 6 innings. And he's done well. He just hasn't got any offensive support. And against Ben Rivera, you kind of expected that he would, but he hasn't yet. But there's still several innings to go. Anything can happen. And Astros have the firepower to do it. So here is Jeff Bagwell. And for Bagwell, he's 0 for 2. He flew to center and flew to left. 1-5 is a 35. 1-1 is a 2, total of 37. It's a grounder to second. Morandini will put it away, so Bagwell 0 for 3 in this game. Not faring too well. Here's Eric Anthony. Anthony's 1 for 2. He did single his last time up. 4-2 is an 18. 4-3 is a third baseman, Hollins. And Hollins' defense is a 4. That means it's a 22 with the infield back. And 22 with the infield back is a single. You don't have to go to any first base umpire or anything. That's only for 20 and 21. On a 22, it's a straight out single. So base hit for Eric Anthony. He's 2 for 3. And now the tying run comes to the plate in Luis Gonzalez. (5-3) is an 8C. So if he reaches, we'll go to the action chart. So right now it's an 8. 5-2 is a 5, total of 13 in column 5. And that's a hit by pitch. So he gets plunked. Does Mr. Gonzalez. He gets hit by the pitch. That's going to move him up, or move Anthony up to second base. So first and second, and we are going to action chart C. So we go to action chart C, which talks about pickoffs, stolen bases, and so forth. I don't know if he's going to try to steal third, though, but we'll roll it and see what happens, because there are pickoff chances in this as well. 7 is SBE. 7 is SBE, which says stolen base plus possible throwing error on the catcher. Roll against catcher's error rating. If roll is higher, advance another base. So he's going to steal third base. It's not a double steal. It's just going to be a stolen base at third for Eric Anthony. And now we're checking Todd Pratt to see what his error rating is. His error rating is a 32, so this could, if he goes higher than 32, this will get chucked into left field rather. It does not, so no throwing error on the play, but it will be a stolen base. Interesting move there by Anthony to steal the base. I'll read it as a double steal, although you would think it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and count it as a double steal, because you would think if one's going, the other's going. So it's a double steal off the action chart. So runners are in scoring position with 1 out, and Chris Donald's the batter. And now, do you bring the infield in if you're the Phillies? They will. They're going to bring the infield in. 3-1 is a 31. 3-1 is a 2, total of 33. 33 is a line out to center field. With less than 2 outs, any runner on third base may tag up and try to score. So let's see if it's going to be a sacrifice fly. That is out number 2. We do need to go to the third base coach chart to see if he can move up. Now the fly ball went to center field. So the center fielder arm, Dykstra, his arm is a 3. The speed of the runner, Eric Anthony, is a 4. So it's a +1 for the base runner. So +1 for the base runner puts us right here. For throws home, center fielder move right 1 column. So it's actually going to take us to column 2. Column 2. So the only way he's out is on a 12. 12 is the only way he's going to be out. We roll a 6, which is just fine. 6 means he comes in to score on the sacrifice fly. So the Astros are on the board. Sacrifice fly to center field. Scoring is Anthony. Staying at second is Gonzalez. It's now 2-1. 2 outs for Andujar Cedeno. First base is open and the pitcher spot is next. Actually, what did I do here? That was supposed to be, let's see, did I mess this up? Because that was supposed to be Taubensee's at bat, not Donald's at bat. So what was the roll again? Well, they both had 31, so it ended up being the same, as it turns out. So both of them are interchangeable, because luckily for me, because in 3-1 they both have 31, so it ends up being the exact same. It was Taubensee's at bat. He gets credit for the sacrifice fly, and now Chris Donalds comes to the plate, not Cedeno. So the cards got stuck together. They haven't been used much. The Astro players haven't been. This is the first time I'm using the Astros, so they're still rather new and have they kind of have a tendency to want to clean together. So now here's Chris Donalds. 6-2 is a 7. 6-1 is a 1, total of 8. And that's going to be a single to left field. Runners advance Let's see. Runner on second may try to score, and defense may try for the play at the plate. Let's see here. The runner, Gonzalez, let's check his speed. Gonzalez's speed is a 4. The base hit is set to go to left field. Left fielder arm is Milt Thompson, who's a 3 also. So it's a 3 and a 3. So we'll go back to the throw chart. 3 and a 3. And let's see, does it give any provision with 2 outs? It does not that I know of. So we're in the 0 because 3 arm against a 3 base runner. Let's see, like I said, it does not show anything about 2 outs that I'm aware of. So we're just going to roll it. The only way he's out is on a 9. 11 and 12 he's got to hold, plus a 3 he's got to hold. Anything else he would score. That's a 4, so he will score it. So he will come around to score on the base hit, and we are tied at 2 apiece. RBI single from Chris Donalds has tied this game as Gonzalez comes in to score 2-2. And now that brings up Andujar Cedeno, and now the Philly bullpen is starting to stir down there. Is right-hander Larry Anderson loosening the pen. Rivera 3-5, that is a 12. 3-3 is a 3, total of 15. And that's going to be a line out to second to end the inning. But 2 runs for the Phillies. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And again, the Phillies have left a single runner every inning. Left a total of 6 on base total. It's been 1 every inning. At the end of 6, we are tied at 2 apiece. That may be all for Rivera because he is scheduled to bat second this inning. So he's definitely going to be done. And the Phillies will be looking for a pinch hitter. Kyle will come out to pitch the 7th. He is set to lead off next inning, so they love to get him through 7 innings if possible. But again, the Phillies have all kinds of lefties on the bench that are good hitters. So they are looking probably here. Yep, John Kruk has picked up a bat. He will hit. So Kruk will hit for the pitcher. So John Kruk will pinch hit for Rivera here in the 7th inning. But first things first, it is Kevin Stocker who will lead things off against Darryl Kyle. Astro bullpen is loosening as well. They do have right-handed action. Xavier Hernandez, I believe it is, who's loosening in the pen. Yep, Xavier Hernandez loosening in the pen. Stocker, 6'1" is a 31, 6'3" is a 1, total of 32. That is a pop out to third base. So 1 away. And that's going to bring up the pinch hitter, John Kruk. As Rivera's day is done, he will get a no decision. 4-2 is a 16, 4-5 is a shortstop, Cedeno, who is a 3, total of 19. And that's going to be just good enough to make the play. 20 or 21 would have gone to the umpire chart, but not a 19. So Kruk grounds to short and comes up a little bit off on the pinch hitting chances. Larry Anderson will be coming in for the Phillies in the bottom half of the inning. But now with 2 outs and the bases clear, it is Nails Dykstra. He has singled and doubled. He's 2 for 3, plus a run scored. 3-3 is a 14. 3-3 is a 1, total of 15, and that will be a line out to second. Had he been a 2 or higher, had it not been a 1, it would have been a triple. Because 16 would have been a triple, but 15 is a line out to second base to end the inning. So the fact that Kyle doesn't give up a lot of hits saved him right there. And that's going to do it for Kyle. He's going to go 7 innings. And he is going to allow the 2 runs, just 4 hits. Let's see how many walks he had. He had 2 walks in the 4th inning, and that was it. Strikeouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts total. So his strikeouts kind of went down after a bit. But that's the line score for Kyle. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He can win it, but he cannot lose it. Rivera is going to go 6 innings, and he's going to give up the 2 runs, obviously. And he's going to do it giving up 6 hits. Let's see, how many did he walk? Well, he hit a batter, so he did have a hit by pitch. He walked Donalds, and I think that's the only walk he had. Yep. Strikeouts, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strikeouts. So for Rivera, his line, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and a hit by pitch. And now that means Larry Anderson will be coming on. So we'll mark off Larry Anderson as being entered into the game. So Larry Anderson will get his chance to take on the Astros, and he'll be facing a pinch hitter right off the bat because Darryl Kyle's day is done. And it looks like Xavier Hernandez will be the pitcher for the Astros in the top of the 8th. Astros going to their bench for a pinch hitter to lead off the inning against Larry Anderson. So let's get Larry Anderson out here. There he is. So let's see who the Astros want to use as the pinch hitter. They have 4 switch hitters. They have Kevin Bass, Caminiti, Candel, and Uribe, and a couple of righties. So let's see. Bass was a 284 hitter. So I think he's your best option, Kevin Bass. So Kevin Bass will be the pinch hitter for Darryl Kyle here to start the bottom of the 7th. We are at the 7th inning stretch. I didn't even catch that. 7th inning stretch, and I'm trying to keep Tabby from messing up my bullpen and bench. She seems to have a fascination with the cards, wanting to put her paw up there and do something to them. So Bass will pinch hit here in the 7th against Larry Anderson. So bottom of the 7th we go. 2-2 the score. Bass 3-2. We're in the shaded area. That's a 2. 3-2 here is a 1. So we're going to add 1 to whatever we get here. So no matter what we get, the most you can get is a 5. That would make that a 6 total, and that means it's going to be an out. But we need to roll and see where the out goes. So the blue die is a 2 right now, but we're going to change it based on what this is. That's a 3, so it stays a 2. So it's going to be a 2 and a 1 is a 3, which is actually a dribbler in front of the plate, and Todd Pratt will make the play 1 away. So it wasn't even a fly ball. It was just a dribbler in front of the plate, and Bass is retired 1 away. Top of the order, and Biggio. Nice to have a close game. I hate those. Last Sunday was such a blowout. I really like to have these close games if possible. 4-3 is a 2. 4-4 is the shortstop. That's an easy play for Mr. Stocker. 2 down for Steve Finley. And that's the first time they got Biggio out. He had been 3 for 3. So Finley, 0 for 3. Could say he's due. 2-2 is 11. I would say that's a base hit. Can't stop the 11. But it is a plus sign, which means he does have to steal. So he does have to attempt to steal with that plus sign. So we go to our stolen base chart. And let me get that out. The grid, I should say. Anderson has a hold rating of 4, which is pretty good. It's above average. But let's check Pratt's arm. Remember, the backup catcher Pratt is in there. His arm is only, or his defense is only a 2. So we're looking to cross-reference the pitcher hold of 4, catcher defense of only 2. So that's going to be a lower number. So here, equal to or less than the defensive rating, it's a caught stealing. So if we roll a 36 or less, he's caught stealing. 37 or higher, it's a successful stolen base. 16, so we got caught stealing. So either way you went, Finley got caught stealing. And that's going to end the inning. So Finley caught stealing. It's going to go 2-4 as Morandini puts on the tag. For the Phillies, no runs, a hit, no errors, and first time didn't leave anybody on because he got caught stealing. 7 innings in the books. It's 2-2. Phillies and Astros. And now we need to go to the bullpen for the Astros, and it's going to be Xavier Hernandez coming on to pitch. the right-hander. They only have one lefty in the pen. They really like to save him for situational pitching, and that is Mr. Osuna. So he's the guy you're looking for to save and use specifically against a particular left-hander, Al Osuna. So he's available against the lefty if they need him. Right now they're going to go with Hernandez. And he'll be facing Morandini, Jordan, and Hollins. Lefty-righty switch. So it really didn't matter who you brought in. It's lefty-righty switch. Here's Morandini. 2-2, and that's number 11. Again, you can't stop it. It's a base hit. And it's an asterisk. That means he's either going to steal or hold. He cannot get caught. So we'll go right back to the grid again. Hernandez's hold is a 2. Taubensie's defense is a 3. So we're even worse shape to try to catch anybody. Now we're at a 33. Before we were at a 36. Now we're at a 33. So 33 or less he will hold. 34 or higher, it's a stolen base. And it's a stolen base for Mickey Morandini. So Morandini will reach single and a stolen base to start the 8th inning. And now the Phillies have something cooking with Ricky Jordan at the plate. Ricky Jordan against Hernandez. 4-6 is an 11, possible error. 4-3 is a third baseman. Again, that's Donald's, and it's going to be an error almost automatically because he's an 11. And it will be an error. So E5, second error of the game on Donald's. And that's going to really put the Astros in a bind. Runners are at the corners with nobody out. Infield's going to have to come in for Dave Hollins at bat. But again, the defense at third base in Donald's is really hurting them. Caminiti is not much better. He's a 14, so his error rating is up there too. Candell is a 65. They could use him, but they're going to stick with Donald's. Infield is in. 4-3 is a 4. 4-3 is a third baseman. Donald's again. It's not an error chance though. It's a range thing. He's a 3, so we add the 3 to the 4, get a 7. Infield in and a 7. Slow grounder defense has 2 options. Take the shore out at first base. Roll one die against the lead runner's speed. If higher, he is out. So we're checking the speed of the lead runner, Morandini, who's a 4. So the only way they're going to be able to get him out is if you roll a 5 or a 6. If you don't roll a 5 or a 6, he's going to score. 2 runners will be on and nobody will be out. And you're looking at a big inning. Or you can take the shore out at first base, give up a run, put the runner at second, try to get out of here with just 1 run. So I think the prudent move is to make the play at first, surrender the run, and try to limit the damage to 1 run in the inning. So it's going to be a 5-3 ground out. But it was hit so slowly that he had no play. So Jordan actually takes second on the play. That brings up Milt Thompson. Thompson, the lefty, followed by Chamberlain and Pratt, 2 righties after that. So they're going to stick with Xavier Hernandez. 5-6 is a 3. 5-5 is a 3. Total of 6. With runner on first only or bases loaded, 2-ball count, but that's not the case, so it will be a walk. So he will walk Thompson. That's going to bring up Chamberlain. Chamberlain is a double play candidate, though, so they're looking for the ground ball in column 4 and get one of these 2s or 1s, you get a double play out of it. But to get column 3 instead, 3-5 is a 30, 3-1 is a 1, total of 31, and that's going to be a line out to left field for out number 2. So they got Chamberlain out, so that's 2 down for Todd Pratt. Could pinch hit with Dalton, but I'm going to stick with Pratt since they're in the lead now. I'm going to go ahead and stick with them. 2-2, and we get a 55 with a raised number of 3, which is static. So the 6 there talks about the right fielder. That's Eric Anthony. He's got to have a 4 or better range to make the play. But he's only got a range of 3, so it's going to drop in for a base hit. Failed range. So let's see what it says here. If not higher, falls in for a single. Runners advance 1 base, 2 bases if their speed is higher than the outfielder's arm or with 2 outs. Well, there's a 2-out single, so everybody's going to get the 2 bases. It's an RBI single for Todd Pratt. Scoring is Jordan. Going to third is Thompson. And it's 4-2 Phillies. As Xavier Hernandez. Not the answer, apparently. There's Kevin Stocker, but he's a good pitcher. He 2.61 ERA with 9 saves. He's just getting some bad rolls. Here's Stocker. 6.5 to 36. That's a strikeout to end the inning. But damage done by the Astros. 2 runs. But that big error means one of those runs are unearned. Actually, both runs are unearned because the single came with 2 outs. So well, yeah, it's kind of hard. You could make a case it was earned because other stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and call it 1 earned. There were 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. So that's it for Hernandez. So for the Phillies, 2 runs on, they did it on 2 hits. There was 1 error, and they left on 2. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 now in favor of Houston. I'm sorry, favor of Philadelphia. And again, the Giants and Braves are loving it. For the Phillies, you could leave Larry Anderson out there. It's Bagwell, Anthony Gonzalez. A couple of lefties are coming up, though. So David West is ready to come into the bullpen, or from the bullpen, rather. They will let Anderson pitch to Bagwell, and then David West will be coming on to face the lefty Anthony. So Anderson will stay in there to pitch to Bagwell. This will be his last batter faced. And then David West will be coming on to face the lefty Gonzalez. 1-6 to 45. That's a strikeout. All right, so that's going to do it for Anderson. He's going to go an inning and a third. And he is set to be the winning pitcher. He's going to go an inning and a third. He's going to give up 1 hit, no runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck 1 out. So West is now your new pitcher for the Phillies. Left-handed pitcher David West. They're trying to set it up for the wild thing in the 9th. So West is your pitcher to face Eric Anthony. Followed by Gonzalez. Couple of lefties coming up. Now, do they pinch hit for Anthony is the question. They do have Chris James. They do have Chris James. Before he goes to Texas, he's still here. So they're going to make the move. They're going to bring in Chris James to pinch hit for Eric Anthony to counter the move made by the Phillies. So Chris James will take over in right field as well. He's going to pinch hit for Anthony and stay in the game to play right field. So James trying to get something going for the Astros. And he's a 3.31. So a little bit worse defender, but better hitter. And when you're down by 2, you need offense. 4-1 is a 3, 4-5 is a shortstop, and that's going to be an easy ground out to Stocker. 2 down. So James fails, and that brings up Luis Gonzalez. You're not going to pinch hit for him. Gonzalez against West. 5-4 is a 1, 5-2 is a 5, total of 6, and that'll be a walk. So West also walks a lot of people apparently. There's a K there, but that only comes into play in column 5. Pitcher has a K beside his column 5 grade, and the result is an out. That it turns to a strikeout, but this was a walk, not an out, so that the K there is none effect. So the 2-out walk, and that brings up Taubensee. Do they pinch hit for Taubensee? They may do that as well. They do have right-handed hitting catcher Service. But they've also got Caminiti on the bench. But they're going to go with Scott Service, a straight-up switch with Taubensee. They want to save Caminiti for the pitcher spot later on. So Taubensee will leave, and Scott Service will take over as the catcher. That'll leave all 3 switch hitters still on the bench for the Astros. So Service is going to be your new catcher in the 9th inning. But he's pinch hitting here in the 8th. He's actually a little bit better defender than Taubensee is, but they need his offense right now. 2 outs and a runner at first. Against West, 5-2 is a 27, 5-4 is a 5. That's a 32, and that's going to be a fly to left field to end the inning. So for the Astros, no runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. 8 complete in the books. It is Philadelphia 4 and Houston 2. And now that sets things up for Mitch Williams in the 9th for the Phillies. Due up for the Phillies, it is the pitcher spot, so they will pinch hit for Mr. West. And let's see who they're going to bring in to pinch hit. First of all, the Astros need a new pitcher, so let's see who they're going to bring in. They're going to bring in Tom Edens, a right-hander. Actually, no, they're not. They're going to bring in Osuna because you got Dykstra and company. So they're actually going to bring in Al Osuna, the lefty. So Al Osuna is your lefty. And that's going to mean the Phillies will go to a righty off the bench instead of a lefty. And that's going to be, that right-hander is going to be Pete Incaviglia. Incaviglia will pinch hit for the Phillies to lead off the top of the 9th. So Incaviglia. 4-2 Phillies. Incaviglia pinch hitting in the 9th. Mitch Williams, the wild thing, warming up in the bullpen, will come in the bottom of the 9th. And for the Astros, it is Al Osuna, the lefty. Because you got Dykstra and Morandini coming up, 2 lefties. So here's Incaviglia against Osuna. 5-4, 32, 5-6 is a 5, total of 37, and that is a strikeout. So he strikes out Incaviglia in a pinch hitting role. 1 down, and back to the top of the order here is Lenny Dykstra. You're not going to pinch hit for him. 2-5 is a 50. 2-2 is a 1, total of 51. It's ground ball back to Osuna, and quickly 2 away. For Morandini, you could pinch hit for Morandini, but he's a much better second baseman than what Duncan is, so they want to keep the defense. With a 2-run lead, they want to keep that defense intact, so they'll let Morandini swing. 5-1 is a 3, 5-5 is a 5, total of 6. It's going to be a walk. 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Ricky Jordan. And now, if you bring in a new pitcher, they've already used Kruk, so they really don't have many other people to play first base, so they could bring in the right-hander to get out of the inning, and I think they will. They're going to bring in Tom Edens. So Edens will be coming on. Still got Doug Jones, but he's your closer. You're not going to use him when you're down by 2. So Edens is coming on. East of Edens. Can't close the book yet on Osuna. He went two-thirds of an inning, a walk and a strikeout. No hits, but he is responsible for the runner on base. So Jordan will be facing Edens with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. 3-4, and it's a rare play chance. And it's odd, so we will go to the rare play chart. With runners on base and 2 outs, we go back to the rare play. Get the rare play chart back out. Runner on first and 2 outs, and we roll to 7. All right, runner on first right here. 7, 2 outs. Grounded to third base. Third baseman fields the ball and throws to second for an ending force play, but his throw is off target. Roll 1 die against the second baseman's defensive rating. His die is higher, runner is out. Okay, so he's made a wide throw to third, has Mr. Donalds, which is normal because he's not a very good fielder. But Biggio has a chance to stay on the bag and make the play. Biggio's defensive rating is a 3. So if we roll a 4, 5, or 6, Biggio will make the play. 1, 2, or 3 is yet another error on Donalds. And Biggio saves his bacon. So it's going to be a 5-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. For the Phillies, no runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. So Ozuna doesn't get charged with any runs. Eden, a third of an inning, and nothing off of him. So we go to the bottom of the ninth, and it's all set up now for the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, with a 4-2 lead. He will be coming on. The Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, trying to get the save. So Mitch Williams is on. And I'm actually very happy Tabby has behaved, so can't complain there. West, 2/3 of an inning, a walk and nothing else. Anderson is the one who's in line to be the winner if Mitch Williams can save it. Chris Donalds is your scheduled leadoff hitter for the Astros, but he will not hit. They will bring in Ken Caminiti to pinch hit for Chris Donalds. So Ken Caminiti, and he would stay in the game and play third base if it goes extras. So Caminiti is your pinch hitter for Chris Donalds. Then you have Cedeno and another pitch hitter, probably Casey Candell, would be pinch hitting for the pitcher, Edens. So here we go. Top of the ninth, 4-2 Phillies. The Wild Thing trying to hold on. 4-1 is a 1. 4-2 is a second baseman. Easy play for Morandini. And there's one away, so Caminiti is out of there. Brings up Andujar Cedeno. It's a 283 hitter, so you're not going to take him out of there. You got Uribe and Candell. Uribe is actually a slightly better hitter, so I think they're going to go with Uribe. He hits 245, whereas Candell hits 240. So they're going to go with Uribe as a pinch hitter. On deck. That'll leave Candell as the only bench player remaining for the Astros. But right now it is Cedeno against Mitch Williams. 3-4 is another chance for a rare play. And it's odd, so we're going to the ballpark chart with a 1. We go to the ballpark chart. 1-4 is a foul out, so it's a lot of foul ground in the Astrodome. 1-4 is a foul out. 5-6 it goes in the stands. It's a 5, so it goes into the stands. Cedeno got lucky. So he gets another swing on the house. 5-5 is a 15. 5-1 is a 5. Total of 20. And that's going to be an infield single. And we're going to action chart M after that single by Cedeno. So Cedeno singles. It's action chart M. Let's see what action chart M talks about. It talks about wild pitches, pickoffs, balks, that sort of thing. So we'll roll for that. Get a 4, which talks about pass balls. So 4 says pass ball. Blue die is a 6. Obviously, that's higher than the pass ball rating, most likely, although I think Pratt had a 6. Actually, he does. Pratt has a 6 pass ball rating, so it will not be higher. It will not be a pass ball. So that's the one rare occasion where a 6 is not going to be a pass ball because Pratt prevents a lot of, or does not commit many pass balls, as shown in his rating of a 6. So the single is there, but there's no pass ball. Cedeno reaches, and now Uribe, the tying run, is at the plate. Both Uribe and Candell have 1 home run on the season, so there's no advantage there. It's just that Uribe has a 245 average versus a 240 average. 2-6, and that's in the shaded area. It's a 1 right now, but that's going to change to the shaded area. A 1 is a left fielder. That's Milt Thompson, who's a 4. So this has to change to a 4 or better to be a hit. And the only way that happens is if you roll a 6. So we have to roll a 6 or else it's going to be an out recorded by Milt Thompson. And it is. So Milt Thompson makes the play. This good range out there. That's 2 down. And that's going to do it for Uribe. His last chance is Craig Biggio. Craig Biggio against Mitch Williams for all the marbles. Biggio is 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double. 3-3 is a 32. 3-1 is a 1. Total of 33. And that's going to be a line out to center field to end the inning and end the ball game. for the Astros. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. Phillies win it by the score of 4-2. The save goes to Mitch Wild Thing Williams, and we'll be right back with a recap and get you set for next Sunday. All right, we're back with the totals for the Phillies: 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. For the Astros, 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Winning pitcher was Larry Anderson. Loser Xavier Hernandez, and Mitch Wild Thing Williams gets the save. So what that does to the standings, it puts a loss on Houston, drops them to 76-48. And depending on what the Braves and Giants do in their games, the Giants now pull within 1.5 games of the lead, and the Braves are within 8 games of the lead. So still over a month to go, so anything can happen. If Braves get on a hot streak, they can catch up, or certainly the Giants can overtake them as well. So final score 4-2, favor of the Phillies, as they wrap up the victory and help out the chasers in the NL West. And that sets us up for next Sunday. Next Sunday will be at Comiskey Park in Chicago. It'll be the Minnesota Twins against the Chicago White Sox. That'll be the game next Sunday. White Sox trying to hold on to their lead in the West over Texas and Kansas City. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of ESPN Sunday Night Baseball on Replay Baseball. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, how you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.